Okay, I have gotten the hair done, or not done, it's blocked in. Excuse me, I still have more work to do on the hair. But before I finish the hair, I want to go ahead and get the face blocked in. So I have made several mixtures of my mud, which is 2 parts of ultramarine blue and 1 part of alizarin crimson. I've added alizarin crimson into that, cadmium orange, and white. Also a little bit more ultramarine blue. And I have to say, in another video I gave you some wrong information. I was wrong. I said mixing cadmium orange you use 1 part alizarin crimson and 2 parts of cadmium yellow medium. That is wrong. So please forgive me. I wasn't thinking as I was painting and talking. Cadmium orange you mix with 1 part of cadmium red light plus 2 parts of cadmium yellow medium. So cadmium orange is 1 part of cadmium red light and 2 parts of cadmium yellow medium. All right, so got that cleared up. I'm using my maul stick to brace my hand on. I can brace my hand on this to steady it. That takes the strain off of my shoulder and the rotator cuff. If you're going to paint for a living and you paint long hours, you want to really preserve your strength of your rotator cuff. So that's what I'm doing here. Now I'm using my darker mixture, and I come back in. I'm doing this while the hair is, I want to do my face and hair and all while it's still, the paint is wet, because I want to make her face very, very smooth. The block in on this, the original oil wash, the oil wash is not very smooth, so she looks older in the washed in drawing. Actually, I want her to, she's very young here, and Dorothy is, I don't know, this was in 1954, so she was very, very young. And so I'm going to paint her very, very, very smooth, which I just could not get that with the oil wash. I'm also mixing a mixture of cerulean blue plus white. And this is just along the shadows. This is a good blue to use just in the cooler areas of her face. This core shadow then is a little bit darker. Don't want to get real dark, but we need to get dark enough to make the lights stand out. And I'm just, right now, I'm establishing the planes on her face. This again is not, at this point, I'm not concerned about the lightness as much as I am just getting the canvas covered and the planes of her face established. Once we do that, then I can come back in and really start working on the details that make her face, make her look like her. Here's, this mixture has a little more alizarin crimson in it. And her forehead, start. You can see I picked up a little bit of that darker color on my brush, but that's okay because she's a little bit darker as the forehead, the plane of the forehead comes out, and then where the eyebrows are, the skull is more upright. So this is just a little bit darker. And then as her head turns back into the hairline, this gets a little bit darker up here. Again, we come around. This is also a little darker along this side of the face. And I'm going to add a little bit, just a tiny little bit of that cooler cerulean blue in here, not much. Now again, I don't have this line along the side of her face correct, but this is just, I'm just getting the canvas covered at this point. Here's my The cheeks and the nose are redder. The skin is thinner there, and so the blood vessels are closer to the surface of the skin, and so that makes them more red. And then the face, the lower face gets a little bit, is not as red. It's actually a little cooler. Even in women, men this is much more pronounced, but even in women their lower face is cooler. This is because there's more hair. Even in women there's hair follicles, and so the skin's a little bit, just a little bit cooler. In men it's much more pronounced because of their beards. I don't have her chin quite right yet, but again, that will change as we get further. Right now I just want to get the canvas covered. And her hand is kind of pressed into her cheek right here. So that's darker. And then there's a shadow comes down. And then her neck is even darker. Here's where I like oils, because that sweater, even though it was painted previously, it's still wet, so that makes it very easy to come back and get the edges, the soft edges I want. In fact, I'm taking some of my sweater color right here and get a darker edge along the sweater there. Need a smaller brush. Now the light hits her neck here. And then it's darker, a little bit darker back here. Again, all of this, I'll come back and rework, but this got that a little bit light on her neck. Cheeks, this is a lighter. Again, this is my same mixtures of my mud plus alizarin crimson plus a little bit of cadmium orange plus white and a little ultramarine blue. But this, just all different proportions. These are all color mixtures. Jack was an absolutely amazing portrait painter, and I had the benefit of many years watching him do lots and lots of portraits. So I learned from a master. Bring her nose. And the nose is going to be a little red, but I don't want to get it too red because you don't want your person to look like they've been drinking. Notice I keep wiping out my brush. This is very important to keep your brush clean. The secret to nice, clean, crisp color on the canvas is a clean brush. Now the light's coming in from the upper right, so the nose makes a shadow here. Now this is going to be darker. Almost need to make a little darker mix of that. I'm not going to worry about the details in her eye yet. Like I say, I'm just getting the planes of the face established, the lights and darks. And I have the photograph of her taped to my easel just to the right of my painting, so this allows me to refer to it constantly. I also have the picture scanned into my website so that I can, or onto my, not my website, I also have a digital file of it that I scanned the photograph, so that way then I can really blow it up to look at the details. really enlarge it. And this is, yeah, I just added a little bit more mud to my dark mixture. Here with some light on her. This part of the face is called the glabella, and the skull comes out over the eyebrows. There's a little hump, and so you usually get just a little light catching right here before the skull turns back under where I was talking about before, just right here between the eyebrows where it gets a little bit darker. So we just want to get this, pretty well get the darks and the lights. And she's a little darker in here. Come around. And this is just the wonderful thing about oil paints is I can come back in and really make these transitions very, very smooth. And her skin is pale and smooth, and so oils are just fabulous to get these transitions, to really get that smoothness of her skin. There's light will hit the side of the nose here. And then she's going to be a little darker here under the nose, casts a shadow on her upper lip. And then this side of her nose is going to be a little darker. And see how I'm using that square tipped bright brush, but I can turn it sideways and make a smaller, narrower stroke. And her upper lip is not as warm, it's a little bit cooler. Even women, a lot of women have a little bit of a just cooler lip here. It's very slight, but it is there. And she comes down, gets darker here. And a little darker here under the nose. This looks kind of funny now with the skin covered in the face and the eyes and the mouth. Not, but it'll all come together. Her chin, she has a highlight here. And she also has a little highlight there coming down. A little darker here. So there we're getting the face blocked in. And then what I do is once I get it to this point is I take a picture of it, put it in Photoshop, and put my picture of my painting right next to the actual photograph of Dorothy. And then that way I'll be able to see now then where exactly do I need to start pushing and pulling to make this look exactly like her. I know I need to, this jawline needs to be softened a little bit there. So there our face is blocked in. Has a long way to go before we're finished. But this just shows you my initial block in. I really appreciate you watching and following along. Please visit my blog where I show the complete step-by-step process of this painting along with the others that I do. The address is in the description below, the link to the blog. The address is also on the final frame of my website. Excuse me. The address is on the final frame of the YouTube video along with the address of my regular website. So you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you again for watching my videos. If you ever have questions, just please feel free to ask them in the comments section. I'm having a hard time talking today. So anyway, you have a great, great day, and thank you again.